Jeffrey React.
Maybe people have forgotten, but I am part of the official side of Gachiakutta
It's like she is the order. She is the order herself.
itself. What frustrates me is not the unofficial settings themselves, it's the people who throw childish tantrums about them.
That's literally what it is. It's just people throwing childish tantrum. Chibi Reviews made a video about Crunchyroll gets caught forcing politics into anime by changing the stories. I actually did saw some of these posts on X itself, and Chibi Review did mention that he's going to make the video about it as well. Like, so I was like, okay, sure, why not? And then and Dawson, you know, like there are people that just wants me to like react on this as well and give up my takes on it, and and so we are gonna go ahead and talk about this and react to this and
You're a tough girl and therefore too strong to fully understand male fragility. Please, Crunchyroll, tell me you did not just add male fragility to your
And from what I heard, Crunchyroll is doing a lot of, like, first thing is the localization problems and stuff, and then they apparently made up a lot of greedy move in their platform that actually losing a lot of viewers. From what I heard, they're actually losing a lot of viewers, and that's because of like they try to like input like weird shit like this in their games all the time.
Please tell me that this is not real.
Yeah, sorry. Like you might not be able to see that. That's why it says, right? You're a tough girl, and therefore you're strong to fully understand what's male fragility. That they put out stuff like that.
This is an edit. This is a meme. This is a fake.
You are a tough girl, and therefore too strong to fully understand male fragility.
Wait, that's the dub version. That's what it says. What?
Oh,
I'm gonna crash out, bro. I'm gonna crash, bro.
Holy
shit!
Goodness,
no freaking way they.
That's like episode 11 of Number Senpai. Okay, never mind. This is like Crunchyroll doing this, right? Like, what about the other dub?
Actually did that. They actually straight up added male fragility into the English dub when the Japanese audio doesn't even say anything about male fragility, male pride, or anything. Bro. This is hostile. Like, this is actually hostile. This is...
I agree.
This is literally taking the original work and forcing narrative, politics, and agenda into it.
Yep.
This is what I've been talking about. Like,
this is why, like, I don't even understand why do people actually watch dub. Like, you know, like, dub is just not the original. And then they use dub to, like, argue with you that, oh, look at that. I watched this show. I played this game. Or like, you know, like I know more about this game or know about more about this anime or shows or anything more than you. But then they use dub to actually change the narrative and the game because that's not exactly what the Japanese or the original version, for example, in anime, right? This is like Hanakimi, right? This is wait, it's in Hanakimi? Is this a new Hanakimi? Isn't this like an old anime? Hanazakari no Kimitachi, right? Wait, what? Now I realize. Hanakimi. Wait, is these and these linked? Like this Hanazakari no Kimitachi, this Hanakimi and this Hanakimi? Is it the same? Like, yeah, I know. This is like, you know, the live action. I'm talking about this, right? Is it the same Hanakimi and they made one new Hanakimi and it's... Wait, I'm sorry. I don't know about this anime because I still haven't watched it, but what? Like, this is what I mean, right? Like, Hanazakari no Kimitachi, and then they short it form to Hanakimi. And they actually did that to this anime. If this is really Hanakimi of that Hanazakari no Kimitachi, then this is more messed up, to be honest.
This is side-by-side comparison of the English dub and the Japanese audio with the English subtitles. It's...
Of course, there are things a tough girl like you wouldn't understand.
Not even the same sentence. It is literally not even the same sentence. They literally shoved in...
I mean, like, male fragility or anything like that, it's never gonna be a words that anime gonna use. The same thing, but I think, like, a lot of English is the one that's trying to make, like, words and... like labels and stuff to label shit up. For example, even like black fragility, that's like one thing that probably a lot of people say or use these days. Like, oh shit, you say that somebody said the N word, or like, oh shit, some weird VTuber that is Japanese and then they say the N word, and then you see like black people like getting offended and shit. Like, oh man, that black fragility is just exhausting. Shit like that, right? Or like whatever that you can see something that is similar to like a bridge with PewDiePie, and then you will put like I show speed, like what? No, like I show speed, we be like, just stop, just stop with like that kind of like labeling around of like words that being made up, like male fragility, this and that, like black fragility or whatever. I mean, like Japan would not do that. That's why that's the reason why I like to play games in Japanese, because. And I always said that it's much more easier to understand because it's just very straightforward. That's how straightforward the Japanese voices are. That's always the reason why I always double think myself when I try to play a game. Is I should play this game in Japanese or I should play the game in English? For example, like Black Desert. Like a few days ago, I was like just thinking about it. But I also have like even Crimson Desert later on when it comes out, I will probably have to think about twice, because Japanese, like, what's the difference? Like, oh dude, what are you talking about? Crimson Desert is a Korean game. You should play it in Korean if you really want the original. That's not really like one of the things. Like the English tend to have localizers that changes narrative. That's the problem, right? That's the reason why, like, oh, okay, you want to play the original. Like, Japan will take the original and they will translate. They will not localize. They will translate. And the thing about, like, Korean, Chinese, or any other languages that nearby that languages, they have a similar grammar, which is much more easier to one-to-one translate them instead of English, because English is totally being built up by a different construct of a grammar, usage. So when you have like language like Chinese or Korean or Japanese, and then you translate them directly, between these three languages, you will tend to likely get the most one-to-one accurate translation. And that's why I always believe in Japanese dub, like in Japanese voices of like a Korean game, right? Like Stellar Blade, I play the game in Japanese because it's gonna be one-to-one with the Korean translation or whatnot. And therefore, like, only English would try to change, like putting male fragility or like words and stuff, because they don't have that certain words for that languages. And so they would tend like let me see, like for example, like Yoroshikune, right? Yoroshikune in for example in Japanese they go like, oh, my name is Jeffrey, Yoroshikune, something like that. But in English you have to localize that and change the meaning of it. Like, hey, my name is Jeffrey, nice to meet you. Yoroshikune doesn't mean nice to meet you. Yoroshikune in Chinese is like 多多指教. That is like Yoroshikune. That's like the same kind of like a narrative, and not a big narrative, the same kind of like word meaning that they have between these two words. So I believe in Korean they probably have the same word as well, because at the end of the day, these countries, they come up from the same kind of place, and that's why there's a lot of similarities, and then the grammars and stuff, it's just much more accurate one-to-one translation. Well, compared to like other languages that uses completely totally different wording and expressions and words and culture and custom or whatever, that's like, for example, like English, it's going to be very inaccurate, even though without this type of male fragility or any different kind of like narration that is putting into them, it's still not accurate. For example, a game that I played back in the day, long time ago, called Legends of Dragoon, right? In Legends of Dragoon, you will have a pub that you go. So when you go to a pub, they will make the pub, they will say, hey, this place is a cafe. But it doesn't make sense, because nobody go to cafe to actually talk to people to get the information. They go to the pub, right? They go to the bar to actually talk to people and gather up information, and that's like the common sense that people had. And so, like, going to cafe and try to see that somebody drunk down below on the side of the place, and they say this is a cafe, that doesn't really make sense, right? So they already have that type of like censorship in a sort of way where they just change narrative. So that's one of the reasons why I don't really trust English localization or English translation as well.
Male fragility.
It's not like, oh man, you speak English but you don't watch things in English. Like, that's not really the reason, because I just want to enjoy the thing in like more authentic. That's just what it is, right?
For no reason, just to basically take a shot at guys, to literally say, yeah, screw you guys, screw you men. That's literally.
Yeah, that's what happening here as well. That's just
Oh
annoying,
my God.
really annoying.
They,
Yeah, sub is superior. Yeah, sub is definitely superior in anime.
Crunchyroll, I'm just gonna say it. You're such a shit service. You're probably one of the worst services I have.
What is happening? Like, let me just go for it. Right. Like, just. Not sure. But this is how it looks like. It is a bit falling and rising up and falling. I'm not sure where I can find a proper, like, like a graph on Crunchyroll to search on Crunchyroll itself. But because like Crunchyroll doesn't really have a stock or whatnot. Like, I don't even know what the hell is this actually means. But this is just like the search of it, right? The search of it doesn't really mean anything. It's more like I think if there's a stock that's easier to look at, like, but I'm not sure how or where I can actually look for. But yeah, but that's like Google Trend, right? Like it's like a search where right now there's so many drama out of Crunchyroll, so people are negatively trying to search. Crunchyroll will probably still get into that search. Graph. So it's not really like a determination of is this company falling or not, but I do see a lot of newses that drop Crunchyrolls and stuff. Yeah, that's not much that we can see. I'm sorry, I'm trying to find something that maybe we can see, like how is Crunchyroll doing or whatnot. But again, that's just
seen in a long time. The fact that you have the
seems to be
audacity
possible.
to raise your prices when you're giving literally butchered scripts and literally taking hold of the actual show and rewriting it for certain narratives or what you want is absolutely despicable, disgusting, and honestly, fuck off. Like, this is horrible. Like, look, people might think I'm overreacting right now, but let's just be completely blunt here, okay? The Crunchyroll thinks you're retarded. They think you're so stupid you won't notice this. You want to know why? There's two big reasons. First off, people that watch anime, they're probably going to watch it Japanese with English subtitles. So they're not probably going to stick around to watch an English dub when the English dub releases. And so the people that watch the English dub probably are never going to actually watch it in Japanese because they probably don't want to read subtitles or some other.
Yeah, that's the thing, right? Like, a lot of people, they don't really watch it in Japanese voices. And I feel like that's weird because, like, yeah, dub is fine, but I guess, like, right now it's, like, way too over. Like, a lot of the reason, like, I'm gonna be honest, like, the first time when I actually watched an anime and it was in Japanese dub, and I was like, it's weird, I didn't want to watch this. But as much as after I watched it, like, a few times, and it just grew into you, and that's, like, that just stays in you, and it just, like, it's more authentic in a way, because before that, I was watching a lot of anime in Chinese. There's a lot of, like, a Chinese version anime, like, in Cantonese or whatnot. Like, Dragon Ball and Digimon. When I was a kid, I watched them in, like, Cantonese. And then when I get older, and then, like, in our local area, there is, like, like anime becomes bigger. And I rewatched the whole show. I rewatched the whole Dragon Ball in Japanese. I rewatched everything in Japanese. And it just, like, like, I don't even remember the Chinese version anymore. But that's just, like, it just feels, like, authentic. That's just how it is.
Form of reason.
So, but
the point,
there's a lot of people that actually watch, like, the anime in English, and I feel like that's actually like if they started to change narrative like this, now this is really wrong. It is so disrespectful to the creators of the anime themselves, and also very disrespectful to the author himself as well. Not only the animator, not even like even to the country like Japan themselves as well. Like it's like you're taking their stuff and then put in your own like narrative to try to put it in, and it's just scummy. Like it's just a scum movement.
Is that most of the time, Crunchyroll thinks that you're not going to go back and cross-check or anything because they think you're stupid. You're not going to see what they're doing with the English version or the Japanese version. That's one reason why they think that you're not going to catch this. But another thing is that they actually believe that they can raise their prices and actually butcher anime and take control of it and do whatever they want with it with no repercussions whatsoever. This is so inexcusable. You cannot defend this because they literally threw in this diss towards guys for no reason. Like,
this is why there's a lot of animator these days, right? Like, I think it was the Evangelion guy, and there is the guy. There is a few guys that I seen that they said that they said that like Japan should adapt to them, like not Japan should adapt to them, like the overseas fans should adapt to Japanese, like adapt as in like the Japanese author, instead of like like if you don't, then you don't deserve to watch anime or look at anime. They just literally said that. Like there are like a huge thing that's going on this.
How blatant and mask off Crunchyroll is. At least
but
this translator, the person that did the script for this dub, how masked off this actually.
Like and again, like it's not just the script writer, it's also the voice actors. Like when people saw stuff like this, a proper and like a good voice actor that would see this, they would say like, I read the manga before, I read the real thing. Are you sure this is what they said? Like they will fight back, but no, it's like everybody's on it together, right? Even the voice actors themselves, they are in it together. Like all of them have the same kind of like narrative that is inside their weird messed up brain.
Is like this is so mask off.
And so this happens.
Off that it's like it's the meme. It's literally the meme and the everything I've been talking about for a very long time, for over a year plus at this point. This is literally what I've been talking about. Crunchyroll sneaking stuff like this in, thinking they can get away with it, thinking you're retarded and won't even notice something like this. It's so crazy. Like
this thing just doesn't really happen here, and as us gamers, we do know it happens in video game as well. So it is just a bit frustrating, right? If you see stuff like this happen, it just really is.
Actually crazy, and the craziest thing is that they're not just doing it with this anime; they're doing it with like polar
every anime. The previous one that got like really people's attention was a Dragon Maid. Dragon Maid got the same kind of dub as well on Crunchyroll. From what I think it was just like a last year thing or something that people actually talk about it. Even the Japanese website saw, and the Japanese website actually talks about it. And I saw people on the news like in Japan, in every single daytime they will have like like in America there is like the views, right? A bunch of Karens sitting up together and talk and shit, and that's like their noon show or whatever shit that is, right? Or their day show for the housewife and shit. Like they do have that kind of shit, but it's not really for the house, it's for like everybody. Probably housewife as well. But there is like one male, and like one male, one comedian, which is usually sometimes it's male, sometimes it's girl. And then there's this newscaster girl, and then we have shows, and then you would just talk about stuff, and they would just talk about anything that has happened, like news, game news, this and that. In that show, they actually had addressed this issue that they actually found. But this thing becomes like it's on the national television. We should actually discuss this, and that's why like when like Onoda, which is like one of those like recently it's like one of those like Japan politician party that holding a very high on power. They even address like the freedom of expression and stuff that the Western should not actually get like interference on them, and that's why that happens. So this thing, it's like more more and more that you can see this,
Their season.
the
Like-
more it happens, the more that Japanese would push back and that Japanese would take back what's theirs, and I think like Crunchyroll would definitely like face some serious issue. I'm not pretty sure where they be like until the extent and say, hey, you know what, we're just gonna translate the thing ourselves and just watch this translation version. We will not get like English dub anymore or whatnot. But I don't think it would be until that extreme. But that's my wish. I think like everybody in the world, doesn't matter if you're in Italy. I don't want to hear an Italy version of like anime speaking in Italian. I don't want to see like if it's in Indonesia. I don't want to see an anime girl speaking Indonesian. If it's like in Thailand. I don't want to see an anime girl or something speaking in Thailand. Like everybody should just be in Japanese voice and then just have their subtitles of their country or their languages.
Look,
That's
you can
the
see in the
best.
picture on the bottom, this is polar opposites.
That's how
in
I
the dub,
feel.
they literally say fragile masculinity added again instead of male pride is such a
Is
pain.
it just me or
They're
those looks like
completely
an S
rewriting
having
series,
alcohol?
rewriting the script to
don't
force
know.
in disses
Nah,
at
I think
men.
it's just you, Mo.
It's like, dude.
I think it's just you.
And localizers wonder why people
And let's
cheer
do this
on
Gachiakutta
their
video
jobs
next.
getting
That's a
replaced
very
by AI. They wonder why
that
people
last
cheer
very
that
good
on,
and
why people want
to
them to be
watch.
replaced.
That's
When
always
you
the
do
spirit.
stuff like this honestly, yeah, I understand it completely. Because it's like, the fact that they can get away with this and be so blatant about it is so gross to me. And honestly, it doesn't
It
just
is
stop at
gross.
that.
It is.
Perma here actually
It
made a
is
post talking
annoying.
about this earlier this morning about another.
Yeah, I saw this as well. I saw this lady right now. She tries to put it on protection. Now the page gets into protection now. If you're a fan and want something to do to pressure companies into paying for union actors and good translation, bully them. Like, what kind of stupid dumbass will say that, right? That's just annoying. That's just stupid. And they say it in the internet. Like, come on, man. Think about it for a second, man. What the hell are you doing? Send emails shaming them. Comment on how you would never buy their game again. Call their customer support line. The louder you are, the faster the company will change. Like, this is a holy shit. This is the issue. The problem is a lot of these guys. Okay, the thing that they are doing is just so annoying because it's like bully them or whatnot. You're right. We are like, there is like a side of a gamers when they say, okay, this game doesn't have this and shit like that. And so what we need to do is, if you don't buy woke games, then the people would not make woke games anymore because there's no like demand on it. But at the end of the day, it's really about like how many people, like whether if the company makes money or not, or whatnot. Like if the woke games really able to find their modern audience, I say like if really modern audience, it's something that really exists in the world, and they have people who actually play them. Like so far, they don't really have this kind of like modern audience, and that's why you can see gamers win because. In a way, this thing is like how gamers actually do in Excel. But it's not like in like, they would say bluntly like, hey, bully these guys and whatnot. They say, hey, I like your game, but there is something that I don't really enjoy in the game, right? So I don't think that's gonna do it if that doesn't apply to what I like so I mean like in order to show them the reason is just to not buy the games. So they're actually using that logic, but then they put it into like just bluntly saying like out loud like bully them and shit. This is like where they get their weird like twisted like they're just being dumb. That's just where it is. Like for us, we just like, okay, if this game has censorship, like we don't like censorship. We're fighting against censorship. If your game has censorship, I mean, like that's not cool, right? So nobody buying games that have censorship in it. And if the game doesn't have censor, then you're probably gonna buy the game or whatnot, right? And like, oh, this game is awesome. This game is great. There's no sense that it's not censored or whatnot. So you would tend to support it. Like so that is this where you can see like the narration is different. Like these are just a huge cope where okay, if you want to, you can just bully them. They just use the logic and then they try to imply on them like, oh, but this is what you actually do as well. Like isn't this what you actually do? You just don't want to buy their games and shit. If they're losing money, then that's how they're gonna like change the game for. But the thing is, it never works for them because it's really that nobody buys their stupid ass woke games and shit like that. If there is an audience that actually buy woke games, then of course we are gonna be on the wrong side of history. We're gonna be on the like gamers who really enjoy what video game were is going to be on that side. This is the same kind of thing. Like at the end of the day, if you have like the same kind of fight, like again, right? Why war happens? War happens because between both sides, they feel like they are doing the right thing. Both sides feels like they are on the right side of the history. And that's why it happens. But then the real, like winners will win, and that's how the world will change. Actually, at the end of the day, that's just how narration actually goes. It's really like just how many people actually agrees with you or not. But too bad, that's not what actually happens in the whole world. Because with common sense, this is what do you call it? Objectively, yeah, that's the word. Objectively, you can see this as like a very problematic things. They're just bullies. Twisted ideology. That's what it is, man. Twisted ideology. So yeah, there's some fighting against censorship in Japan, like Maker of Eva and Mushoku Tensei. Mushoku Tensei, Gachiakutta, Chain Soldier. Yeah, all of these guys, right? They know, and then they did actually try to fight back.
Localizer that you
like I like when you see this, and then like you see that they are trying to use our narration, like with not really our narration, like our method, like censored game, let's just don't support it, but at the end of the day, if the game is good, people just still play it. Marathon, people try to cancel Marathon, right? A lot of people say Marathon looks like Concord 3 or Concord 4, whatever the fuck that is, right? But like nobody, the game still have people playing it, so it's still able to survive probably like a few months or whatnot. So at the end of the day, if the game is good, like people are still gonna play it. Like it's like no amount of like narrative can actually make a games to fail. It is only on them themselves. If a real game is real, then it's just gonna sell well. If a real game is not, then it's the same thing. Same thing goes with like anime and shit. If the anime is bad, then it would just go bad. But changing this is bad. Like this is just stupid. But this is like another different talking as well. This is not even the anime's problem. This is the dub localization people's problem. And that's what that problem
anime.
is.
And she has butchered the script and taken advantage of changing things for a certain narrative and agenda for many, many years at this point. And basically, she straight up admitted a few days ago, apparently, that
they gotta bully. Like the thing is that we saw with like what is that again? Sorry, I know I yapped too much. What is that again? Sweet Baby Ing, SBI. Sweet Baby Ing used the same thing. Like I think I saw like a videos on them, and then the way that they have the meeting on like people's, and the way that they show like, oh, you don't like this, you don't like this, you know what, bully them. And it's like, wait, what?
That's Japanese companies until weird. They hire basically people like them.
And Japanese, they don't really understand what is happening outside.
Union VAs. It's pretty despicable. It showcases the type of individuals that are seeping in to the dubbing, the translation, and localization for anime, games, and manga. Yeah. These individuals literally are just hostile, taking over the industry. I've been talking about this for a very long time. But this is what's happening. Like, this is exactly what happened with Disney. This is what happened basically with all of Western media.
Yep, Disney, yeah.
Honestly, you had these individuals within the...
Like, I used to be so proud and say, I grew up with Disney. I used to be so proud saying that word, man. Like, holy shit, I grew up with Disney. Because Disney movie was generally good. They were so good, right? Like Tarzan, like Cinderella, like all of those like really nice movies. Beauty and the Beast, like all of these, it is so good. It was such a great cartoon that it was like timeless. So beloved by many as well. Like I'm so proud when I say like I grew up with Disney, but now they just change. I don't see people probably would say that anymore, right? Like it's just a shame that Disney become this thing, and it was destroyed by a bunch of Karens like this.
West that completely demolished entertainment and gaming and everything and completely sanitized it, censored it, or threw in politics or narrative of a certain side within it. And if you try to have an opposing opinion, completely shut down. Modern audience, so to speak, of how they always like, oh, you need to adapt and do things for modern audiences. And you have these individuals in localization and translations now.
Oh my god,
that are
Fire
doing
Force,
the exact
course,
same
the
thing.
fighting
They're
against
trying
the
to
yeah, I did share the footage before, right? Like I did see that videos where Leaf Fit makes the video on that. Leaf Fit videos was so good on the Fire Force censorship. That was one of the good ones as well. They are trying to twist things and the way they do it, and it's not even logical. If they were trying to make a good games, they would not need to fear everything. This is really just a shitty, like, like a shitty, like this type of thing that you might see is like, oh man, they're trying to, like, but this is just a scummy move, right? Like, for example, like Grumps. Like nowadays people call him grifter or whatnot, but like, then again, Grumps is the one that fought for Stellar Blade. And Stellar Blade had like censorship and stuff, and Grum put up a petition and stuff before that, right? Like for Stellar Blade, and I think that was like one of the good stuff that you see like that he did. Like, yeah, I do agree that some of it's like sometimes like when you see like their side of like Twitter or X, they do sometimes goes way too extreme. But then, like, an extreme in a way, like, oh, you see, like, oh, shit, look at that. Dead or Alive 7 is coming back. But then you will see, like, oh, somebody's going to point out, like, this kind of stuff or that kind of stuff and says, you got to be careful. Like, like this is not what is going to happen. You got, like, this weird badge on that guy who announced the weird, like, 2030 badge vision kind of thing that is, like, a bit weird and a bit scary. So they actually had that badge, and people say you got to be careful and stuff. And I'm going to be honest, like, why that happens, it's not really about grief or whatnot. It's just about trauma. It's just really trauma. Trauma as in, like, their hobby or the things that they love getting destroyed. And you will see, like, oh, shit, you're so excited about, like, for example, like, if, let's just say Final Fantasy, right? Like, Final Fantasy, you're so excited about it. Like, oh, shit, Final Fantasy 7 Rebirth is interesting. Oh, shit, this is so great. And you get inside, suddenly you see some weird lesbian shit happening in the game. And it'll be like, what? Huh? Yeah? And then when you slowly see stuff like that getting infiltrated inside the game, you just be, like, traumatized by it. Like, it's like a force thing that is just faced into their face. But it's not like the good kind of force thing. It's like a very fake kind of, like a very, artificial kind of narration or like a storytelling that you have to face, and it's just shit. It's not like, oh man, I'm afraid of spiders. Suddenly you play Resident Evil 9 and then you saw the spider out and you'll be like, oh shit, why is there spiders? No, kimochiwari, no, this is disgusting. No, I can't play this. Oh shit, what are there spiders? Let me check the settings. Where's the phobia shit? Can I turn it on? Where has that? It's not that. You are playing a horror game. Of course you should be uncomfortable. That is exactly the whole point of playing a horror game. It's a narrative on, like, like a horror. That's the whole point of playing a horror games. It's not like that type of, like, genuine, like, gameplay or storytelling or whatever, or like a game system or whatnot. But this type of like stuff is just very artificial. The way that they put it in, like the black, like the weird, like blackwash characters that you have inside of, like, Final Fantasy Rebirth itself. Like, oh wait, I remember this character is not. Never mind. I think they turned it into Netflix, I guess. Shit like that, right? That's just the you can see, like, it's very forced. Like, it's not like we hate black characters or whatnot. Dude, we have, like, Barret and shit. Barret looks good, right? Barret is, like, a very great character or whatnot. And then we got, like, who's that again? Root. Root is a very great character as well. And all these are dark-skinned characters inside of a Final Fantasy game. But they are being built up in a very genuine way. But when you have a character that's, like, a different color tone from the OG, then suddenly it is changed, then that's weird. So, that kind of, like, like the way that they make it. That's what we are talking about. So this is the same kind of thing, right? It's a very fake kind of way to actually express. They don't really truly even believe in this. It's just a childish tantrum.
Force anime and manga for a modern audience when that is not why people watch anime, why people read manga. The reason why anime and manga is popular
Wait,
is
Disney
because
would be
it
crying
is
in
Japanese.
his grave if it sees
is
modern
weird, it
Disney,
is different, and it's
that for
not
sure.
Western media. And the fact that these people come into this media and make it a
and they destroy
battleground
it.
for their fucking politics, their agenda and narrative is so...
You know what happened next? They just say, why don't you just watch anime? Why don't you just enjoy the show? Why don't you just play video game? People just stop playing video games on, like, instead, now they start to talk about the shit. They are the one who bring it in. Like, you know, this was being brought in. The same thing with Netflix, One Piece. Nobody gonna talk that shit. And why don't you just watch the show? Have you watched the show? What do you mean? Like, you haven't even watched the show? Like, yeah, we did, and it looks horrible. And they try to cope this shit out. We used to be the guy. We used to be the people that just play and watch shows. But then they get into that hobby and they change everything and they destroy it. Of course we're gonna voice up. Like, wait, what happened? Somebody stepped on your leg? You're just gonna voice up. What the fuck are you doing? You know?
So infuriating. Like,
So
dude,
it's
we did
just
not
so
have
annoying,
this type
man.
of shit 5 years ago. This was not even a thought. Like, you did not have stuff like this. You did not talk about...
We just want to play video games and we just want to enjoy movies and shit and just sit down and just relax.
About this. It wasn't even a
But
big
it's-
deal because anime was still catering towards the Japanese, and technically it kind of still is, but it is being pushed a certain direction, and you can see it.
Nah,
You
it's
can
not
see it.
really
It's so
actually.
blatant, it's so obvious. Look what happened to Arana yesterday. I talked about the author of Gachiakutta and how the Western fan base is trying to force their ships, their fandoms, their pairings, if a character's trans or not, if the author is non-binary. It is just so toxic. I'm so done with this shit. It is so annoying.
Yeah,
and the
so
fact
this-
that Crunchyroll
Yeah, it's
is
sad
doing
what
this type
happened
of
to
stuff
Western
with
gaming
their
too. We
subtitles,
just
their
want good games
dialogue,
in the
and
West.
the
No,
dubbing
the
and
thing is
all
like,
that
yeah,
is
everybody
so
want a good game,
annoying,
whatever.
man.
But it's
Like,
just that
I'm
we
tired
just
of
want to
this.
play
They're
video
literally
games.
taking the
But
script of anime
they're the
and
one
they're
that brought
changing
in
it
the stuff.
just to force in a narrative. It's so stupid. Oh my goodness, I hate this, dude. I hate this. I hate what they're doing to anime. It pisses me off that Crunchyroll has a monopoly on anime. It really makes me so upset because it's
it is.
they don't really have much competition, and they can just get away with this. Oh,
I mean, like,
hate
get
this,
away with
man.
it? I don't really think so, man. Like, that's not something that I would think so. Like, definitely they will have some sort of pushback. Like, everything's get that. Like, everything would get fixed by itself in a weird way. It's just like how many, like, people say the world is overpopulated or whatever, but then now you see that, you know, the world is underpopulated. It's like, oh shit, nobody's sleeping with each other anymore. Nobody's making babies. Yeah, you know, it's like a real issue now. Like, what? So that would just be like, wait, what are you talking about, right? So yeah, they got another one with the Gachiakutta things, right? Let's just continue this as well, because since it's like the same kind of topic in what we are discussing right now.
Creator Kaorana calls out toxic Western fan behavior, and this is what she had to say.
Yeah, I read this as well from my perspective. This is the common sense rule, but nobody says it. Things will turn into chaos, so I say it. You know. I'm using translation app, but never mind. He's probably gonna read it, right?
This is a common sense rule, but if nobody says it, things will turn into chaos, so I'll say it. If someone brings unofficial settings or outright incorrect ones right in front of me and keeps saying, "What do you think about this? Hey, look at this. What do you think? Hey," over and over again, of course I'm going to reject it. Maybe people have forgotten, but I am part of the official side of Gachiakutta.
It's like she is the order. She is the order herself.
What frustrates me is not the unofficial settings themselves, it's the people who throw childish tantrums about them.
That's literally what it is. It's just people throwing childish tantrum.
give context to this statement that Keirana, the author of Gachiakutta, said on Instagram, we gotta go back to a few days ago to where the author of Gachiakutta did a live stream on Instagram, and half the live stream, Urana had to shut.
It's like, this is what happens. In Asia, we discipline our kids. But in America or something, somehow that is like not available. Like, oh shit, why do you beat your kid? You know, the way that they try to parenting, the way that they want to do that, they never smack their daughter or son face in the face in order to, like, when they say something stupid, right? If you say something stupid, you just slap them. They would just, why the hell? What did I did wrong? They would just think about it and be like, what? You know, like that kind of like weird shit. Like the time when I say something stupid and my mom would just slap me in my face and just let me know that, hey, you say something stupid, man, that's wrong, right? That's like, you know, that is right and wrong in the world, man. That's what it is, right? Killing people is wrong. Yeah, do you get that? Yeah. Do you get that? Yes. Something like that, right? Helping people is right. Yeah. So that is right and wrong, right? There's no helping people is wrong in any circumstances. I take that back. Maybe there is some circumstances that is that with the suicidal empathy and shit like that. There's no way that killing people is wrong. It is right. But then again, we do have regime and shit. Well, long story short, again, it's they're always right and wrong in the world. That's what it is. I'm just saying.
Down fan cannon, head cannon, shipping pairs.
So it's like, yeah, when you're wrong or whatnot, you're gonna get slapped. And the thing is, like, I'm sorry, I get a little bit distracted there, but the point I wanted to make was, the Western did not discipline their child. Now the whole world have to face the consequences of lacking on parental discipline. Now a bunch of entitled, spoiled kids, they grow up, now they are in their 20s, or even Gen Z, or even millennials, that I think, like, I'm not pretty sure about millennials though. Do they get smacked? I think that they do not, right? I think like a lot in Western they do not. But people in my place, like, when the people in my place, when we do bad shit when we were a kid, my mom would be like, when you go home, then you know. That's what was me, man. That's like, when you go home, then you know. And I was like, oh shit, what wrong did I did? What wrong did I did? Holy crap, I did something wrong. What wrong did I did? And you try to just think about and like just try to, like, you know, repent on yourself. Just think about, oh shit, what bad thing did I did? What bad thing did I did? You know, like, oh shit, that's not okay. Okay, that's not okay. Now I know it, right? But that's not what happened in the West, from what I see, because we saw a lot of weird shit 10 years ago, and we were like, wait, what? Just smack them in the face. What the hell is this thing doing? But it's wrong to do that. It's child abuse. Like, no, it's parenting. That's what it is. You know, but then again, you know, it's like a different kind of culture kind of shit. But then, is it really though? Because I see like a lot of people discipline their kids when they were a kid in the West as well. Like by just beating the shit out of them. Like, stop doing the stupid thing that you're doing right now, right? Like, that's probably have shit like that happens, like, even back in the day, and everybody turns out to be the best kids in the world and the best people around the world, right? They're just getting molded. Like this is like raw, very disgusting looking metal, right? They never get molded at all. They never get beaten, or like beaten as in like molded into like a shape. So they just raw, and they just become something useless. It's just a pile of material. Either it's like rock or clay or whatever it is. But then when you beat them up, you mold it up. You mold it, you squeeze it, you mold it, you punch it, you knocked it down, you burn it with fire, you knock it again, and then you mold this beautiful shape of things, right? And that's exactly what people back in the day were. But not that anymore. Like, and then they got all these entitled and spoiled kids, and now everybody in the world got to face them. Got to get their shit and got to face these stupid things and have to deal with this. So
if a character was trans or not, if
that's
the
what it
author
is,
was
man.
non-binary.
I'm just saying.
All these different types of
that's
things.
the truth.
Also being asked if you're
Yeah.
racist or not.
And yeah,
it was
and
just
plus
a
there's
whole
where
mess.
it's like
And
you
so
feeling
when
out
an
of
author
fandom.
has to pretty
We
much
need to
spend
get back
half the
into the
live
West if we
stream
got too much spoiled
basically
kids. Yeah,
shutting
that's
down
what it
what
is,
the
man.
fans are saying,
You
know
got-
things are
you
getting
got-
pretty
like
bad.
the West
And
gotta
the
bring
fact that
back
the author went
discipline.
on record on Instagram, on her official Instagram, and said she's getting frustrated with these type of individuals, I think really speaks a lot about what's been happening for the last few months. And so for those that are kind of out of the loop, let me kind of fill you in. So basically, a few months ago, the author of Gachiakutta was accused of being racist for something completely outside of her control. For context of this, there was a live-action play for Gachiakutta that was coming out, and basically there was characters that were not the proper skin tone. And so basically a lot of people said, oh, you must be a racist for not having the proper, actors playing certain roles. But the author of Gachiakutta straight up said they had no control over the actor selection or anything like that, and basically, regardless of their input, they had no control, but they weren't labeled a racist for that. Then
I feel like they just don't have to explain as well. Like, just get back Japan, make things for Japan, and if other people from the other world see it and they like it, then just consume it. If you see it, you don't like it, then you don't have to consume it. There is like other shows like from Disney that you can watch, or even Netflix.
you fast forward a few days after that, you had
That's
a
always
character
something
called
for you.
Pansy.
Like for me, I would not play. I would not play Dragon Age Veilguard because it's not something that I like. So I don't like it. I don't play it. Then I play Stellar Blade because it's something that I like. Oh, that looks cool. Let me play that. Right? The same kind of shit. Like, I don't get it. Like,
that was being called trans, and the author just straight up said no, Pansy is not a trans character, completely shutting down headcanon that a lot of toxic fans had, and basically saying, no, this is not what the character is not trans, etc., and people got very upset. Then, on top of that, within another few days after that, the author found out that apparently a lot of people were calling her non-binary, and basically the author's like, today I learned I'm non-binary, even though I'm not, and this obviously upset a lot of people, and so
yeah, I saw that. I saw that as well, Next.
if you're not seeing this, there is a pattern to where the author is constantly engaging with the Western side of her fan base, and they are definitely increasingly putting pressure onto the author, trying to make them fit a certain role or believe that she is this, when in reality, she is not.
This is the thing about anime. Nowadays, you can see a lot of the anime that we make. Like, a lot of people claim that anime is not really being, like, Western watch, really. Like, actually it is being very Western watch right now, because anime in a lot of manga back in the day, or even Japanese made stuff, they don't really tend to take things that seriously. Like, there is like a super serious type of manga, but if you watch a lot of the manga back in the day, like watch a lot of shows back in the day, they will have this comedic kind of scene where you have a goofy characters that just play around with goofiness, but then that doesn't go well with a lot of the Western audience. Like, a lot of the slapstick or even a lot of the jokes that have been made in like anime, it's not going to be accepted or like even comprehensible by the Western media. So what it is that they can do in order to please the Western media and make things that actually shows them that that's what an acceptable type of media or anime is, making them a bit more serious. So you can see like how One Piece becomes like this very goofy gag anime, and slowly it turns out more global, and when it get more globalized, it's like more serious in the plot. Like, they just throw all everything away, and then I think like One Piece Oda actually realized this, and he actually decided, you know what, I didn't start One Piece because of this. I wanted to make more fun and casual and more funny stuff. So he actually made the Gear 5 as what it is. So it actually goes with all the other media as well. If you look at Bleach was so funny, and it was so much comedy in the old show, that you will see that it tended up, because like back in the day, they don't really kind of think about the global audience. They only know like, hey, I'm gonna make an anime, I'm gonna make a show that people will enjoy, and a lot of Japanese, they do enjoy that kind of like jokes and slapstick, and then because at the end of the day, it's just for people who work their ass off like 18 hours in a day, and then what happened is they want to enjoy a nice media and a nice, like entertainment to release their stress after work, like after working hard in a company that is somewhat considered Japan company. Now you know what I mean, right? Like Japan company with the OT and with weird, absurd like conditions and stuff. But then, like, they wanted to release their stress, so they watch this, like, the anime. The way that they work hard, play hard comes from that. Like, all their anime and all their entertainments was, like, insane. Like, if you see, like, Yakuza, the same thing. Like, why is there so many mini games? Why is there so many Japanese game got mini games? Because, it's always about the fun part of it. It's always about having fun. And why does TV have a lot of, like, naked girls and shit? Because all the guys, when they work and they get, like, super stressed, they just want to see some, again, this is being proven, right? Like, if you see boobs, your stress will lessen, and that's just what it is. So they just want to put boobs in front of a screen, and people will just enjoy that and just, like, just release some of the stress. And that's why they have so many, like, weird ass 18 plus kind of book, and they will have nice fan stories in anime. They will have like nice fan stories in video games as well, like Yakuza and stuff like that. You will see, like, they will probably hired JAV idols to go and do their modeling in their game, right? And that's just literally what it is. And that's the reason why, because they just want to, like, they just work hard, play hard. And you don't really see that much of those inside of the Japanese media anymore, because they are kind of like, okay, we're gonna make a new show, we're gonna make a new anime, but we're gonna make it much more moderate. We're gonna moderate it to the global audience. And when they do that, and that's happened, like, it's all get like a bit of a modern wash or global wash or West wash media. And the anime that we watch today, somehow you would think like, hey, it's a bit lacking. You thought that you got old, but it's not. Like, the anime did change. Like, I just watched One Piece again. Like, because of One Piece live action, I couldn't enjoy it that much. I actually rage quit. I wanted to watch the whole thing, but I rage quit at episode 6, and I couldn't watch it anymore. I was like, nah, it's fun. It's enough. Like, it's enough. And so I rewatched the whole One Piece from episode 1 again. And now I'm in episode 28, by the way. I'm gonna get into Nami area, the Nami arc. But the Arlong Park arc or something like that. I'm not pretty sure which English it is. But like, when I see that, I see, like, I enjoyed the show. I really enjoyed the show. And it was like, wait, anime is still good. Like, no, I don't think it's me getting old or something. It's just the anime really changes. Like, there is this new anime called The Silent Witch, and I tried to watch that. It was on Netflix, and I was like, oh, okay, this is pretty cool. Yeah, the quality is like, it's like Mushoku Tensei or whatnot. But then when I look at it, I don't know why, I just feel sleepy. It is so safe. It is so toned down. Yeah, the quality of the anime is good, but then I could not go through it. It's just something with the modern anime that I don't know, man. Like, there's just something about it. So that's why Dan Da Dan was like one of those rare things that you can actually find in the modern anime that has like a nice slapstick and jokes and stuff, and people digs them, people love them, and that's what they really needs to do. In Gachiakutta, the anime was actually kind of serious as well, in my opinion. They don't really have that much casual stuff, but that's what she wanted to do, though. That's not what I mean, like, she wanted it to be more lightly, right? The way that the Gachiakutta guy, the protagonist, I forgot what his name is, he faces betrayal. He got weird. He lived in the slum. He got thrown down into the surface. And now he met a bunch of cleaners. And the cleaner will change his life because he's full of hatred in his life. Like, so much hatred that, he wants to revenge. But meeting the cleaners will somehow, soften him a bit and then change his life and how he looks at things. And, it's a very good concept, and it's a very good show, and it's a kind of lighthearted as well. I feel like, like she probably wants to do that kind of like slapstick jokes and whatnot, but apparently you don't really have that much stuff on that, because probably the publisher or anything like that, they would say, nah, you can't really put that in because it's not gonna be suitable for the global audience or something like that, and then they just like, they just somehow get censored from jokes, censored from weird shit as well. And that's what I feel.
And you can see that
You
she's getting extremely frustrated with this community that she has definitely garnered in the last few months to even over a year now.
Man, I feel bad for the maker of
it's starting to reach
Gachiakutta. It has too many normies in a Western fan. That makes us true. Western fan looks bad. Like, I don't think it's a normies, man. It's really the extreme Western fan. The extreme weird kind of narration guy. Like the tourist, that's what it is, man. Like the extreme on the other side. They're not even really like, the weird part of it. Like, that's just weird. Yeah, and Bleach still had super good story too. Yeah, Bleach back in the day, and you compare Bleach from the latest one, the Bleach on the latest 1000 year arc, they cut a lot of the joke. They cut off all the jokes. They cut off all the fan service and shit like that as well. They just make it much more globalized. You already can see it from there. Like, it's very obvious that's what happened.
boiling point, especially when you have a
like there is that scene where Yoroichi just do some weird shit, and it was supposed to be a joke side, and it was supposed to be like a tension releaser, and you will get like I think like Ichigo will be like the one that like say Nanda Soraya, something like that, the kind of like tsukome and stuff, like what the hell are you doing, stuff like that. But that did not happen. That whole scene was taken away.
Public statement come out to where
So
he
it's
offers
just
to straight
weird.
up calling a part of her fan base childish and having childish tantrums and even frustrating her. And this is a really big thing that showcases what I've been talking about for a long time now when it comes to just these individuals that are so unbelievably toxic, and they are individuals that go into a community, they force their agenda, they force their politics onto a series, onto the author, and they don't give an absolute fuck about what the author actually thinks. Like,
Yeah.
it's the entire conversation around Oda when he wrote Yamato. And now Yamato is a woman, but you have a lot of people, a part of the One Piece fan base, say that Yamato is a man. And FYI, for those that don't know, about a week ago, Oda did a whole little short comic showcasing that if Yamato continues to try to act like a man, she straight up dies. You have these individuals that join these communities, these fan bases, and they try to press their headcanon onto the author and try to make it canon. And it's clear that the author does not like this. I mean, legitimately just straight up saying, hey, what do you think about this? Hey, do this over and over again. It's going to cause the author to do the exact opposite. And so
Yeah,
it's only
man,
a matter
nobody
of time,
likes that shit.
honestly.
It's just like when you're
individual-
when you're driving and then they got this weird like your wife or anything and just keep yapping, like that's not how you drive. Like you miss the road and shit. It's just gonna be annoying, and then you would do the opposite. Never mind. Let's just go back home.
that keep commenting on Urana stuff like this, she's going to kill off their favorite character. She's going to do the exact opposite out of spite. And I feel like one of the big things, though, that this is really
I
showing...
feel like this is the same thing that happens to Jujutsu Kaisen as well. Jujutsu Kaisen killed off Sukuna just because of the annoying fan base that just keep pushing on Sukuna. Not really Sukuna, sorry. What is that? Gojo, yeah. Just keep pushing on Gojo. And I think that's why the author actually killed him off. I genuinely think that Gojo dying, it's not actually on the original like idea that he has. I don't think so.
Communicating with your audience is not always a good thing, especially if you're an author of a very popular work. And I feel like this really showcases why individuals like Horikoshi Sensei, the author of My Hero Academia, doesn't really communicate a lot with their fan base. Because let's be blunt here, okay? Imagine throughout the years of My Hero Academia coming out, if Horikoshi would have communicated with the Western side of their fan base more, like constantly in talks with them, responding to them, doing live stream and stuff. Like, imagine how bad that would be, especially with how toxic My Hero Academia's fan base was. And so, when you look at, Urana, the author of Gachiakutta, she is communicating with her Western and Japanese fan base, and obviously, it's having a negative effect on her mental health. It's very obvious, and I feel like it's only a matter of time until Urana either disconnects completely from the fan base and doesn't communicate with anyone, or maybe just straight up starts going on a tangent and just saying she hates them, or just completely shuts down their account. One or the other is going to happen, because with only in these last few months this amount of frustration and anger that's been kind of seeping to the surface from her, it's only a matter of time until something really bad truly does happen. But yeah, this is some wild stuff, honestly, because it's like I've been covering this drama with Gachiakutta for the last few months now, and to see it reach this point now where the author's just directly calling people childish is kind of crazy. I mean, Based, gonna say it, Based calling them out, you know, saying, yeah, you're being childish and having tantrums, but still, I only see this ending
It's really sad to see, to be honest. Like, you know, you want to do good by... I want to be connected to my fan, but then you get all these different kind of ideas. Like, again, like I think I said this in like some of my Stellar Blade videos as well, right? Like, people on the Asian side, especially if someone like her, the people who actually just do things, they don't really have time to like me, like look around internet and just look for weird shit. Like, for me, I'm like one of the rare case that kind of understand about like geopolitics in the West as well, or even the narration or the woke shit or whatever, because I look into it. A lot of the regular people, my relative itself, they don't actually even know about all this. Somehow in my brain, I kind of want to talk about it, but I know it's always just gonna push me away, right? You know, like, you know, it's like a very sensitive shit that is like trying to brainwash people, like in a sort of sense. Like, you know, when I talk about that to my relative, again, like how I mentioned before, where, like, you know, I tend to have like a very libtard mindset back before. Like, Ayumi Hamasaki was my Taylor Swift, or like you know, I don't really care about gay people that much, and I used to date like a bi, and I feel like, you know, they are cool people, and they in Japan there is like a very nice Okama bar or whatever that is, right? That is like so good. Like, I'm just like a regular guy, right? Like, okay, I don't really actually put up prejudice on a certain type of, like, you know, like gay people or whatnot. Like, yeah, the gay, so what? Like, you know, it doesn't really get something to do with me. So, like, you know, like that type of like mindset, and of course, like my relative and stuff, they probably would be that type of mindset. They're not like me, who look at YouTube that much and just like, you know, search on this kind of stuff and, you know, and see things themselves. They just see whatever, like, you know, like in Facebook, they got so many fake news, and Facebook and even Instagram, that when you just scroll through it, you will see like some sort of post that is definitely like a very like narrative putting, like wrongful post that is just bluntly a lie, and they just put it out on Facebook, and people like my relative, they will see it and would just trust it and believe it. Until, like, I think I got the one that is very close to me slowly sees this, and because he follows a lot of the stock market kind of stuff, and then from stock market kind of stuff, they do have a sort of narrative inside of that as well. So as more and more he saw it, more and more he realized the narrative that is happening in that stock market thing as well, that he said, yeah, like all these news is, they tend to have this weird narrative they're trying to push out. They're not trying to be authentic and teach you something, or even telling you something. And he somewhat understand what I'm saying. So there are some of them that get radicalized by this, but most of them, they are still pretty not sure what the hell is happening, and they don't actually care as well, right? They're like, oh yeah, gay people, so what it is. So the thing about that is like the same thing with Gachiakutta Rei Urana, is that the name? Like, she's probably don't really care as well. Like, she doesn't really actually know about this. But because of this fan base, they just keep pushing her into this. And like, wait, why? It's so weird. Like, why do people ask me whether I'm non-binary or not? But in that, like, it's not in Japan, I don't think they have a term for it. So it's just like Okama? You know, like, probably, like, that's what it says. And like, no, I'm not Okama. Like, what the hell is that Okama doing around here? Like, what do you mean? You know, they don't really actually, like, know about a lot of the stuff. Like, the same thing with hard R or whatever, right? Like, they don't know. This is not an Asian thing. Like, everybody living in Asia, right? We don't know about that. It's just the same thing as Western people doesn't know the tastiness of eating a rice with an egg and some shoyu or soy sauce. Like, just eat an egg and shoyu and soy sauce. Like, to some Western, it's sort of like, why are you eating egg with rice? That's weird. Like, the same shit of that. That when you don't understand that. Like, we don't understand the weird hard R shit. We don't understand the weird the weird bullshit trans thing that they're pushing around. So, but when things like this happens to a person again and again and again, of course she will look into it, and then she will know what the hell that is, and of course she will get radicalized and retaliate. That is what it is.
Poorly for the author as it continues on, because there is a reason why manga authors don't communicate.
Oh, you mean that? The Cell joke in Bleach was censored because you're saying the smell of those since he's a fanboy and looks so girly? Was that so really?
Crazy,
I think that's what it is.
On people over small little things with a fictional character. So imagine what type of brutal comments and DMs that this creator is getting on a daily basis for not, for instance, having a character trans, for instance, saying that the character isn't trans, her saying that she's not non-binary, etc. Imagine the amount of hate and heat that she's getting because of stuff like that. I could not begin to imagine, but I will leave it at that. If you enjoy my content and you want more of my content to appear in your subscription feed, then please leave a like, please subscribe, it does help me out a lot, helps with the algorithm, and
I mean, like, I'm gonna be honest, man. I don't really watch much of Chibi review stuff, but I do see a lot of his Chibi reviews, expos a lot. And that's just because, like, his type of content is really good, right? But it's just more on, like, just addressing the issues and stuff. And it's most of them, you can actually just find it here. And it would just be here, and you can just read about it mostly. So that's why I never really watched his video that much. But now seeing one of them, like, I can get like what type of like video he does, and it's actually like, it's great that we got like somebody that is like 500,000 subscribers actually putting up addressing issues like this. And it's really important that this kind of stuff we would get like brought up. And it's always nice to actually talk about them as well. Like, addressing the issues is always something that like people should do. And I'm glad like there is somebody that's like raising up their voices on issues like this, because this Kei Urana thing is very sad to see. But I'm gonna be honest, in my take as well, and it's like it's like this weird, like when the fight between anti-woke and the woke, it's always like that he did use the word like retarded and stuff like that, and I think that's cool and stuff. But sometimes the word can literally means like, it's like the opposite version of whatever. Like, this guy say, oh, why are you not trans? And then the right or the other anti-woke will say, oh, that's just retarded. And I feel like the word retarded is fun to use, but if we use it in a narrative way, it just kill off the meaning as well. So that's what I saw. I'm just trying to be fair here, okay? I'm not trying to be a libtard or whatever. I'm just saying. But it's still a very awesome videos and whatnot. It's really cool that people actually talk about it, and we got people with 500,000 subscribers talking about it. And actually, not really just him. There's a lot of other people as well, right? They got a lot of people are on this war against censorship and Japan media being not Japanese anymore. Especially for me, I am a huge warrior on this case, because we gotta fight. We gotta fight. We gotta fight through making back our Japanese media Japanese again. That's what it is, man. So mostly the old do not understand. What do you mean? This is a Gen Z problem and last gen people. So mostly the old people do not understand. Yeah, they do not understand, man. Like, a lot of people in my relatives, they don't really understand it as well. Like, again, like, if you're old, if you're 40 years old, not really 40. If you're like, maybe 40 is still quite close with like the millennials part. If you're like around 50 years old, or even 60, or even 70, or like 50 or 60, which is like my parents' generation. If you are 50 or 60 years old, I mean, like, if you say it weirdly and badly, like, most of them, they will feel like, okay, our life is just 10 years or 20 years. It's not like we're gonna face this shit that long. So they don't really actually give a fuck as well. They don't really care. Like, sure, you can do whatever you want, man. Like, it's like the young generation people's problem. Let them deal with themselves. They were the one who's gonna mold the future. And so people like us in the mid-life, right, in the middle of a life, like, this is where things gonna get interesting when they get shit like this. Like, dude, when I was in my teens, I was thinking about, holy shit, man, I saw an adult watching watching Cowboy Bebop, and it's like, holy crap, and that anime, it's so adult-like, it's so cool. Well, I saw one of my adult friends in their 30s, or people that I know when they are in their 30s, they watch some show and variety show that have titties and nice stuff on the national television. Man, I wish I would grow up as an adult and then I can watch all this shit, right? That's the reason why a lot of people back in the day, they want to grow up and be an adult as fast as possible, because being adult back in the day looks kind of fun and it looks kind of cool. You can get married in your 20s, you can have kids too, you can buy a house in your 20s. Like, what the fuck, bro? Then you can watch a lot of huge titties variety shows, like just on the national television. What the hell, bro? That looks so fun. You can drink as much as you want, you can have some fun as much as you want, you can just do whatever you want, right? But then, so weirdly enough, that type of generation people are the most responsible people in the world. They are the most responsible people that you will ever meet in your life. And then there are people like millennials like me, which is like, if I leave responsibility, I would not actually do this right now, right? I would probably do some weird ass job, but but I would not do this. And then you got people like younger than our generation on the Gen Z. They're just totally like unacceptable spoiled behavior, and it's just what it is, man. It's just like, man, what this is not the grown up that I wish to see. This is not the grown up that I wish to be in. So yeah, you know, it's just saying, man. That's just the part. But yeah, and Raised in Chaos Nightmare is great. And 4-star, how do you like the story look? Oh, you mean the show just now that I saw? Yeah, it looks good. I'm gonna play the game, so yeah, we can talk about the game a lot when I play the game or whatnot. But yep, so here we are, right? We're gonna conclude with the show. Drop that bitch.